hello and welcome back. Thanks for coming back. Where are we? That's what you're wondering. Well, technically, we're in downtown Paphos. That was behind us, what we'll call the top of Bar Street. That's the big church, which means if we go straight, we're going to go up Russian Road. So what shall we do? Well, we've got to stop anyway, because the lights are on red. Unbelievable, isn't it? Everywhere you go, there's always something trying to slow you down. If it's not cyclists, if it's not people walking, it's people with pushchairs or people with cars or these stupid things called red lights. Anyway, Miss Andrea, there you go. I've been a very good boy indeed, and I have stopped. Very frustrated because I don't know which way to go. Shall we go left towards the Paphos Mall, towards Tomb of the Kings? Shall we go straight up Russian Road, or shall we go right and go towards, what should we call it, the Paphos area roundabout, or out towards the airport area? What shall we do? What shall we do? Let's think. Shall we go left? Shall we go straight? Shall we go right? Kenny, what do you think? Because today, Mr. Kenny is sitting beside me. Hopefully you're still watching, Mr. Kenny. Hopefully you are still stealing your daddy's phone. Who's your dad? Paul Roberts. Yes, big shout out to you. And of course that means he must have a Christian wife, and her name is Miss Nicole. Good morning to you guys. Kenny's sitting there and he's watching on the phone and he's wondering, are we going to go left? Are we going to go straight? Or are we going to go right? Well, we're not going right, because as you can see, little Alu has gone to green and we didn't go. So I think we're going to go straight, because I don't think that I've ever taken you up Russian Road. So bear in mind that behind us in about 500 meters is Bar Street. So if you were to come straight all the way up here, if you understand me now, yeah, this is Russian Road. And if you were to take a left, and I mean right now, if you took a left, yeah, you would head out towards the Mayfair Gardens Hotel. Okay, so that shows you how close you are to Bar Street. If you're staying in the Mayfair Hotel, one of the greatest hotels in downtown Paphos, and remember, if you are going to stay there, let's have a go. There we are. Look, this is it. Okay, and they've actually opened a new restaurant bar, by the way. This is their overflow car park, maybe full of staff and that sort of stuff, but as you can see, there is the odd hire car where people have been parking up, but this is the car park for the Mayfair Hotel. So let's just drive through it a little bit. Let's see if we can squeeze through there without hitting this Nissan March up its bottom. What's that idiot doing? No idea. Let's go through here, and as we swing round, this is the reception. Look at that. That's the main drop-off and collection point for the Mayfair Hotel. And remember, if you are going to stay in this hotel, drop it in the comments, because we'll have a word with the boss. We know him personally, Mr. Yuri, and he's a superstar among superstars. He really is. And on top of that, we know Mr. Christos, the general manager, and he loves us. He really does. So you let us know you're going to stay there. We'll let him know that we know you, and guess what? You'll get something extra special, like a bottle of wine, maybe a box of chocolates, but you'll get something, that's for sure. And I promise you, even though they treat you exceptionally well, they'll treat you that little bit better again. So don't forget, if you're staying there, or even many of the other hotels, let us know. And now and again, we can have a little whisper in their ears. And even in the Olympic Lagoon, by the way, we can have a little whisper, because to be honest, it's all a little bit of a game. They don't really dislike us at all. Anyway, it's called Hollywood. This is downtown Paphos, and we're heading up Russian Road, and we're going the wrong way. We're heading up towards the old town. So, slowly but surely, if you watch the videos of me driving around Paphos, you will start to learn your way around. You've got Bookie Co there, so if your name's Lord Dave Jono, perhaps that's where you might want to pop in and make your first million or two. Well, I think he's actually made his first million. He seems to pick every horse that wins. So if you want to get a horsing tip or a GG tip, whatever it's called, I don't know, go and log on to our little website and send a message to the man known as Lord Dave Jono. He seems to be very, very good at it. He's what's called a tipster. So there we go. Full-time job, I've no doubt. He sits there reading the Racing Post or whatever it is. Anyway, here we are, top of Russian Road. We are going to take a right and we're going to head up towards the Paphos Old Town. Now, unfortunately, one of the roads that was dug up is now repaired, but the other road that took us round to the Old Town is now dug up. I think you understand what I'm saying. So there's a lot of big diggering going on in downtown Paphos. Shall we let these people go? We'll be very, very courteous and we'll let them go. There we are. Because in general, I'm a pretty courteous driver, and especially if you're a foreigner, you know, you're lost, you're bewildered. There's no harm in letting those people go, and don't worry about that little orange light, Miss Andrea. The two cars behind me went to the on red. So there we are, downtown Paphos on a beautiful day, a spectacular day by the way. Middle of March, temperature, if you're curious to know, if your name happens to be Miss Dawn, perhaps you got a husband called Mr. Sean. You got a cat that you stole from downtown Cyprus a few years ago, and her name is Miss Daisy. You got a dog called Bobo. Well, the temperature today forecasted at around about 20 degrees. So it's not too bad. I don't know what it's like in downtown Derbyshire, but it's probably a little bit cooler, and it's probably a little bit gloomier. That's the big road there to the left that they're now digging up, and this is the road that they dug up and now they've put back down again. And well, I hope this is not the final surface, because well, it's Sherlock Holmes. So if your name is Lady so sweet Caroline, get your bottom on a memory foam pillow, and just before you do, pour a tot or two for the superstar known as Mr. Nigel Big Guns. Well, actually, he's a lord, isn't he? Lord Nigel Big Guns. And of course, they're coming to Paphos very, very soon. So don't forget to come back, because no matter what happens this time, and I promise you, this time, Lady so sweet Caroline and the one and only Lord Nigel Big Guns and the granddaughter Miss Ellie will be cha-cha dancing down the Coat of Paphos promenade in straight jackets if they don't want to do it off their own back. Anyway, there we are. Where are we? Almost technically in the Old Town-ish. Although I suppose my friend the mayor would say this is not the Old Town, he'd call it something else. But I call it the Old Town. And just coming up here, as you can see, there's a lot of buildings been refurbished. This place used to be shops, now it's can be converted into townhouses and to new apartments. And to be honest, I think it looks a lot better, because I think we all understand that town centres everywhere in the world are changing. They were changing before the pandemic. The pandemic brought things forward, and I think we've got to move with the times. At the end of the day, town centres, I think they're basically going to be a place where people hang out and smoke shishka pipes or whatever else they might want to smoke, and have a coffee or a can of Coke, or if your name's Miss Andrea, perhaps a can of Pepsi, or even Pepsi Max. I mean, as long as you don't get it too close to me, I don't really mind. I mean, Mart, I understand, actually really prefers Coca-Cola, because I saw a picture of him the other day and he was holding a bottle of the real thing, and it was a bottle of Coca-Cola. So there you go. I understand Miss Andrea is a bit of a defector to the blue, but most people in the world like to be on the side of the Reds. Now, talking about the Blues and the Reds, because that's a bit of a football thing going on in Manchester and in Liverpool. Now, I don't really understand much about football, but the point of the story is it's reminded me that we met a superstar, and I mean a superstar. When I say a superstar, this gentleman has been with the channel Marika and me pretty much from the start. He is one of the chosen few. Now, don't take that as an insult, by the way. I'm going through these red lights because I can't be bothered to stop. There we go. Sorry, Miss Andrea. There we go. This is Cyprus. We get to do whatever we want, whenever we want. And remember, I do know the mayor, and I actually do know Captain Stavros as well. I mean, he'd probably get his gun out and shoot me, but I do know him. Anyway, we're going to head into the Old Town this way. We're going to take a left now. But as I was saying, the Reds and the Blues, as you remind me, I mean, you've got Manchester and Manchester City, you've got Everton, and you've got Liverpool. I'm not trying to upset anybody, but those are the colours, aren't they? But anyway, we met a gentleman, and he is a star. He's a superstar. I don't think there's anyone higher than him, because he is one of our very first, and he is a great man. There's no doubt about that. And we met him, and we had a little chat with him, and I've asked him to meet us for a coffee. I hope that he will find time in his schedule to reply, and I hope that we will sit down and catch up. But if we don't do it this time, please, Mr. Sean O'Keefe, don't forget when you come back in June or July that we want to sit down and have a chat, because we really, really, really respect the fact that you joined us back in our very, very early days, and we respect the fact that you've stayed with us. Thank you very much. And the coffees are on me, or whatever you fancy to drink, as long as it's not Pepsi or Pepsi Max. So, Sean O'Keefe, a big, big shout out to you. A superstar amongst superstar. He was the guy that told us he was staying in the Cephalius tourist beach village down in the Tomb of the Kings area. And he was the chap that warned me that when we walk through the main reception and go onto the raised terrace, there is no escape. So, there we are. We understood when we went on there that we had to come off there quickly and sneak down the stairs and then get out to the back of the pool. He then told us to go and have a look at the Roman Hotel, and he said you'll be shocked when you walk in. And I've never been into the Roman Hotel, by the way, and I was. It's a work of art, by the way, but I was genuinely shocked. And a big shout out to his mum and dad, who had their honeymoon there 1 or 2 years ago, shall we say. So Sean, you have a place in our hearts, and we're looking forward to seeing you very, very soon indeed. We are circling the old town, if that's what you're wondering where we are. If you were to take a left down there, you would go down to the, well, I think it's going to be the permanent bus station. At the moment it's temporary, so they say, but I think it's going to be the permanent bus main pickup if you want an intercity bus. Intercity bus, well, the name is self-explanatory, isn't it? It's a bus to go from Paphos to Limassol, Limassol to Nicosia, Nicosia to Larnaca, Larnaca to Famagusta, etc, etc. It's the big trips. Those buses are green, if you are curious to know, and if you Google intercity bus, you'll find out the prices, and it's pretty cheap. I think if you want to go from Paphos to Limassol, it's €5 or €6. If you want to go to Nicosia and back, according to the superstar known as Ronnie Zamiri, who's living all the way out in Denmark, but originally he is from the Holy Land. Yes, well, I think he said it was €12 to go there and back to Nicosia. Well, you can't drive there for that, and of course you can't park there for that. There you go. So perhaps if you're here on holiday and you want to go up to Nicosia, get yourself on one of the big green buses, give them €12, and guess what? You're coming back the same day as well. It's about 2 hours on a bus to go to Nicosia from Paphos, just so you understand. It's about 150 kilometres, and I think it stops once or twice on the way, basically at Limassol. There we go. Right, we are now coming out of the old town, and this is the road that takes us up towards Midtown Clorica. But I'm going to take you for a bit of a treat. We're going to go up a bit further, and we're going to swing a left, and then we're going to swing a right, a left and a right, and then eventually we're going to come back down to the Tomb of the Kings Avenue, and you're going to get a great view, and truly spectacular view, to be honest, because you're going to be looking out across the blue Mediterranean Sea. So stick with us. Here we go. Here's the first left. Forgive the road surfaces, as I said, they're a little bit Sherlock Holmes in these sort of areas, and we're now wiggling around in where are we? This area, I think it's called Paphos or something like that. But anyway, it's pretty much like a refugee area. Not trying to insult anybody, by the way. This is after the troubles in Cyprus, which goes back to 1974 when there was a bit of a war going on, and I'm not getting involved in the politics, and I'm not trying to make fun of anything either, by the way, but this area then was designated when certain people left and their houses were given to other people, and yeah, I think you get the idea. So there's a lot of refugee Cypriots living in these houses, if you understand me. And I understand that those people have suffered, and I'm not making fun of them. That's not what I'm doing. And I understand that they are having trouble rebuilding their lives, because I understand that all they had was taken away from them through no fault of their own. So I wish them all the luck in the world, and I have a great respect for them, and I have quite a few of them who are my friends. So this area that we're driving through is that area. But one thing is for sure, when you come out just over here, you get a truly spectacular view down across the blue Mediterranean Sea. And I'm sure you must agree, as you feast your eyes and you digest, look at that. Now that is a view to take your breath away. And this here, by the way, coming up on the right hand side is, it's not that new now, it's about 3 or 4 year old, but it's a very, very spectacular, ultra modern cafe, again with a spectacular view down across the Tomb of the Kings area and out across the beautiful bay, and it's a spectacular day indeed. Now, have a look at that. That's one of those smart signs, see? And it says it's 18.4 degrees. So they're pretty much right, aren't they? Because they are predicting a high today of 20 degrees. And we've got about another hour to go before we get to midday. So there we go. They're pretty much right. These weather forecasters, they really are pretty clever. Well, except for that chap called Michael Fish, wasn't it? I think his career was destroyed when he said the lady that phoned in 1986 or whatever it was a nutter. And then, of course, well, a storm from hell hit the UK. Anyway, there you go, Michael Fish, big shout out to you. Hopefully you're watching. I'm sure I saw a comment from you once or twice saying that this channel was absolutely Sherlock Holmes, and it probably is, but there we go. Right, let's keep going and let's wiggle and waggle our way. See, I promised you another left. Here we go. My sat nav in my little brain pretty much has carved up every single square centimetre of this town. I'm pretty good with Limassol, pretty good with Larnaca, and not too bad in Nicosia. My nose, well, it's pretty good, especially when it knows that there's a good coffee shop coming up. So let's keep going. There's 1 or 2 speed bumps to come, and then I promise you a spectacular view over the blue Mediterranean Sea. And I'm going to say on that note, thanks for watching. If you like what you see, hit the like, click subscribe, perhaps come back for a little bit more of my lunacy or madness, insanity, whatever you'd like to call it. I know I'm nuts. My father told me I was nuts. My mother told me I was nuts, and so did both of my grandparents. But in their own way, they did love me, and I hope you do too. Thanks for watching. If you want to hit the buy me a coffee icon, please feel free. Go through to our about page. There's a little icon that says buy me a coffee. It'll cost you, I don't know what, £3 or £4, 4 or 5 euros to buy us a coffee. We'll pop it in the tank, and we promise to keep on making these little videos for you. 1 or 2 people seem to enjoy them, so big shout out to some of them. Daniel Mahoney, thanks very much for being a superstar. Nigel, all the way in Stockton, beautiful wife called Miss Debbie, and of course a little princess called Miss Maya. Thanks very, very much. Stuart Pearson, all the way out in Scotland, thank you very, very much. The twins, Lord and Lord, Jeremy and Simon, thank you very much. Nigel Big Guns, video so sweet, thank you very, very much. Gwyneth Walker, thank you very, very much indeed. And of course, the one and only superstar, Dame Ann, thanks very much. All of you people have helped to keep us afloat. And now and again, when the funds run out, we know we can rely on you. Thanks very much. This is Tomb of the Kings Avenue. I'll keep going for that little bit to give you that final reference, and it'll be the traffic lights where the King's Hotel will be on our left. The Cephalius Damon Hotel again will be across the road but on our left, and that is where the 2 superstars known as the Baby Barnhawk, that's Miss Fern, and of course Harry the Keeper will be checking into in a couple of weeks. And they haven't got far to go to across the road to the Thomas's Jungle Karaoke Pub, and we're going to watch Miss Fern melt our hearts away. Thanks for watching. These lights, I'm telling you, what's going on in the world? Every single red light is always on red. Whatever happened to the green is what I want to know. And there's no traffic. Why have these cars stopped? Doesn't make any sense, does it? I tell you. Right, Parade Shops coming up here on the left-hand side. You've got the Irish bar called the O'Neill's. You've got the Farmhouse restaurant over there. You've got the Oceans restaurant over there as well. That's got a place in Lord Dave Jono's heart, that's for sure. And we're not talking about the shrimps or the calamari. Anyway, car hire. You've got probably the greatest hair salon in downtown Paphos. It's called George and Xavier. You want to rent a car? Well, there's 1 or 2 of them going on here. You've got Fat Mamas. You've got McDonald's coming up. I think you get the idea. We are in downtown Paphos, and we're on Tomb of the Kings Road. That is the Tramps. You've got Tea for 2 on Tomb of the Kings Road coming up, which means next door to that is the King's Hotel, which means across the road is the Cephalius Damon Hotel. Thanks for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one.